it's time to stand on business, stand on business. Just make sure that whatever business you're standing on, you got some integrity behind it. And make sure that that business you're standing on is authentic and real. There's a lot of people, youngsters, standing on business that they don't own. You can't stand on business that you don't own and that you don't own up to. I think the biggest issue is a lot of parents of these times who have kids right now, or I should just say parents my age. Parents my age, or a little bit older or a little bit younger, have made a mistake of trying to be best friends with their kids. And they've also made a mistake of relying on tablets and apps to educate and develop their kids. Develop their comprehension skills, their thinking skills, and their talking skills, their vocabulary. And I think most of these kids, they believe they are very smart. I'm not talking about these young geniuses who get good grades and you know these kids that are setting records every year or every few months. It seems like we got kids getting younger and younger who are getting full ride scholarships to universities because they're just they have it here. But then there's another section of these young generation of kids who are internet babies, and everything they know is just from what they've seen on the internet. And they think they're smart. They're clever, but they're not smart. King is one of those clever kids. He's not one of those smart kids, but he's clever. He knows how to use certain words to try to spin a narrative. He knows how to use certain words to draw the attention of his little crowds and to try to make it seem like he's standing on business or he's somebody important or that should be feared or respected. Excuse me. But I believe the mistake that T.I. made was not disciplining his son early on, not bringing structure to King early on. I don't really see that issue out of Major. I think Major is the name of the oldest brother. I have no complaints about that young man. He's very respectful. He talks well. He's very calm. He don't be clout chasing or trying to do nothing extra. This young man knows who he is in this world. He's perfecting his craft, and he's still evolving. King, on the other hand, you can see where there was a disconnect, a malfunction when it comes to his childhood development. Now, in that video that we just recently saw, T.I. and Tiny, they exposed King for how he had he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, and even though he's trying to act tough and act like he hood because he was with his grandma, but they had to reveal and remind him that, look, bro, you was sucking on the pacifier until you was 12 years old. You were begging to be at your grandmother's house. But King feels like because he spent most of the years around his grandmama in the neighborhood that his grandmother lives in, he feels like he got a hood pedigree, or like he's standing on some hood business, or like he got clout. When we haven't seen anything that qualifies him to be someone with some street credibility. I've seen a couple of videos in the past, some years back, of him getting kind of two-pieced up a little bit, in the bathroom with some kids. But I highly doubt that King really got in a real full-on fight like that with someone that can cause him some problems. I highly doubt that King has even shot a gun. Maybe he's held a gun, but I doubt that he's even shot a gun. But he's an internet baby, and he feeds off the energy of his followers. Even if it means disrespecting his parents, as long as he gets some good content and he got people to say, man, dang, King was going at his parents, man. Yeah, man, King stand on business, man. You see how he's talking to his dad and his mom? That's what I'm talking about. That's how you gotta let them know. They don't care about our feelings. No, King, you don't care about respect, young man. And when you get out of pocket, your feelings don't matter no more. When you start being disrespectful to your parents, talking real crazy, telling your dad, oh, I know you, like he don't know you, then you fighting, you testing the wrong water, sir. And if King does not be very, very careful, he ain't gonna be around too much longer, because it seems like he's willing to crash out to try to prove something. King is willing to crash out to try to prove that he is a street dude, or that he didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. King he got some real internal emotional issues, and I ultimately blame T.I. Maybe T.I. was touring a whole lot during King's early years of development, and I believe that it was too much pampering and coddling and spoiling of him when he was young. And I think that when he started going through that phase where he just wanted to have his way and he wanted to throw a fit and pout and beg to be at his grandma's house, I think he felt like he was a man once he started growing up over there at his grandma's and spending more time around his grandma in that neighborhood with his friends over there compared to at his dad's mansion. But King forgets that T.I. is still way more hood than him. King ain't gonna never be as hood as his dad, because his dad is the hood. His dad is someone who is considered by many the king of the South. So to even disrespect your dad in that way and try to even pull your dad's card, you're dumb. You don't have it all the way there, King. Your emotions are clouding your logic and your reality of what's really real to you and what's really an illusion. But King is delusional. King has some feminine tendencies, and King, unfortunately, is going to have to really get a whole lot of reality checks. I mean, you would have thought he already kind of learned from some of the mistakes he already made, but he's going to have to get some serious reality checks before he really, really humbles himself. But I don't feel like he's going to be willing to humble himself because of his pride, his little fragile ego and his pride. So I just hope this will be a lesson and an example to a lot of parents that are my age and younger who have kids that are King's age or young or just younger. If you got younger kids, get them while they're early. When I say get them, I mean don't always let your child do any and everything. Even if your child is 1, 2 years old, say no now, so they know, okay, I can't do anything I want. I can't demand everything I want for me. When mom says no, it means no. When dad says no, it means no. It doesn't mean when mom and dad say no, you start crying. Yeah! You just start counting and acting like, you know, a spoiled brat. Because I know King was doing that when he was young. But then when he got a little older and he started hanging around a couple of homeboys that was way more tougher than him, and that probably used to knuck him up a few times, and then he started learning how to fight a little bit. Now he started thinking he really that nigga, and he not. His dad may be that nigga, but his King is not. But parents got to do a better job, including T.I., of not over-spoiling the child and balancing the child. You can spoil them now. You can show them love and try to give them and show them everything that you didn't have. But you got to remind them that there's certain things you're not going to tolerate from them. You got to remind them that there's certain things they cannot do. And maybe King was not reminded of that early on. I got a younger brother. He had the same, he kind of took the same road. He had a rebellious spirit towards life. And I think it was because of his anger towards our parents, my mom and dad. Maybe because they broke up, they got divorced. And maybe because he felt like the way life was going to be, it didn't turn out that way. But you can't control that. So King needs to stop trying to be rebellious. His mom and dad are still together, so he ain't got no excuses. He's just a knucklehead, rebellious kid that needs a reality check. So parents, do better with raising your kids. Discipline.